A warm good afternoon to everyone. It's my immense pleasure to welcome all of you to the webinar organized by the Department of Zoology, SRR Science College. I feel very proud to announce that our webinar has registered by more than 300 participants from around 11 states of respected principal college and the chief program Professor Krishna Garu, the vice principal sir and BOS HOD of the Department of Physics Sri P Nitin sir Garu, vice principal sir and HOD BOS of Commerce Dr. T Rajesh sir Garu. Today our keynote speaker Dr. A Nageshwar Rao Garu, assistant professor of zoology from OSMANINA University, Hyderabad. Our distinguished guest, Dr. K. Surender Reddy Garu, General Secretary, TGCGTA of Telangana. Dr. A. Jyoti Lakshmi, Associate Professor of Zoology and convener of this program. Dr. K. Kiranmai, Assistant Professor of Zoology and Organizing Secretary of this webinar. D. Ravinder Rao Sir, Assistant Professor of Zoology and co-convener of this program. And eminent speakers, esteemed faculty members, my colleagues, dear participants, and my dear students, welcome to our webinar. Please mute yourself. I myself, Dr. B. Kalpana, Assistant Professor of Zoology, working at SRR Government Arts and Science College, Karimnagar, and also Organizing Secretary of this national webinar. It's my honor to welcome you all this important, it's my pleasure and honor to welcome you all to this important session on the topic ecosystem restoration after COVID-19 lessons for people, nature and climate and its key approaches for sustainable future. On behalf of the Department of Zoology, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each one of you for being part of this event. This webinar is a platform to explore one of the most pressing global challenges, restoring ecosystem to ensure the sustainable future. About our Department of Zoology and Fisheries, our department is very dedicated to excellence in education and research. We offer both UG and PG programs, providing students with a strong foundation in life sciences and fostering a commitment to biodiversity conservation and environmental stewardship. The department strives to empower students to contribute meaningfully to society and address ecological challenges. Now, I want to give just a brief account about our topic, the ecosystem restoration. First of all, I would like to tell ecosystem restoration is the process of reviving and safeguarding natural systems that are vital for all life on the earth. Forests, rivers, wetlands, and oceans, they play a crucial role in providing essential resources like air, water, and food. Sadly, these ecosystems have suffered significantly degradation due to deforestation, pollution, climate change, and overexploitation of resources. The COVID-19 pandemic has further emphasized how closely our health is tied to the planet well-being. It has taught us crucial lessons about the urgent need of sustainable practices. Some of the lessons from COVID-19 pandemic, mainly dependence on the nature. deforestation, illegal wildlife trade have increased the risk of zoonotic diseases. Nature's resilience. During lockdown, we witnessed the nature's ability to recover. That is air quality improvement example. And also a call for change, urging us to rethink how we interact with the environment. Why the ecosystem restoration matters. For securing our future, combating climate change, healthy ecosystem acts as natural carbon sinks, reducing greenhouse gases emission. So the actions which we can take to restore the ecosystem are mainly, I think, planting the trees, reducing the pollution by eco-friendly practices, conserving water and energy, conserving native species, educating others, spreading about ecosystem restoration. Because the education and awareness campaigns and scientific research are powerful tools for driving change. Through this webinar, we aim to equip participants with knowledge and actionable strategies to contribute to the ecosystem restoration. Now I feel very honored to invite the our district honored, and I feel privileged to express our heartfelt appreciation to our esteemed principal. Your leadership is the cornerstone of our college success. Your vision, your passion, and tirelessness efforts have inspired us all to strive for excellence in every endeavor. Your presence truly elevates this occasion, sir. So now it's time to give your valuable message, sir. I invite Professor K. Ramakrishna, sir, our principal and chief patron of this program. Please give your valuable message, sir.
Good afternoon. I'm audible. Kalpana. Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Sir, you are audible, sir.
Okay. A warm welcome to today's keynote speaker, Dr. Nageshwar Rao AMANCHI, Assistant Professor, Department of Zoology, Osmania University. I also convey my best wishes to today's program convener, Dr. Jyoti Lakshmi, HOD, Department of Zoology, SRR Government Arts and Science College, organizing secretaries, Kiranmayi, Bhanutu Kalpana, Ravindra Rao Garu, and other faculty members, my beloved friend Surendra Reddy Garu, and all other those who are participating today's webinar on ecosystem restoration COVID-19 lessons for people, nature, and climate, key approaches for a sustainable future. Nitin Garu, Rajay Garu, Srinivas Garu, Radhakrishna Garu, Padala Tirupati, Tahir Hussain, Kalajyoti, Tamata, Preeti, Tajuddin, and Swaruparani, Mrudula, Lata, Ramya, and all other my colleagues and friends. The Department of Zoology, SRR Government College is going very vibrant and dynamic, active. A wonderful programs are designing and organizing by Department of Zoology. Recently, they organized 1-2 national seminar also, and I hope this webinar will be very useful for the young scholars and research students. It's a very relevant and current topic, national webinar on ecosystem restoration. Ecosystem restoration is important because it helps to improve the health of the people, environment, economy, and society also. Restoration protects and improves the livelihoods of people who depend on them. In fact, restoration can help us achieve all the sustainable development goals. The key approaches for sustainable future are like promoting eco-friendly transportation, practicing sustainable design, fostering innovative urban development, and supporting sustainable agriculture practices also. Our resource person, Dr. Nageshwar Rao AMANCHI, serves as an assistant professor in Department of Zoology, Osmania University, a distinguished academic career spanning over 2 decades. Very much glad to meet you, sir. He has made significant contributions to the field through an extensive body of research, including publications in top tier journals like Toxicology, Applied Pharmacology, Journal of Environmental Biology also. Dr. AMANCHI received several prestigious awards, including Fellow of Indian Association of Aquatic Biologists in 2010, Young Scientist of the Year Award from the International Foundation for Environment and Ecology in 2018, Osmania University Vice Chancellor Award also in 2022. Department of Zoology SR Government College students mentoring and helping guiding by organizing these kind of very good initiatives from the Department of Zoology. Students got admissions in central universities and state universities, particularly Kerala and Pondicherry and Osmania University. So our students got many ranks. Our Department of Zoology is a very vibrant department in our college. Recently, they organized nutrition mela also, which include a large number of nutritious food items, which helped inculcate the nutritional value of food and healthy food. I hearty congratulations to Department of Zoology, particularly HOD Dr. Jyoti Lakshmi Garu and all other fellow friends. I warmly welcome once again Dr. Nageshwar Rao Amanchi for his kind presence. I hope this webinar on ecosystem restoration will be very useful and helpful for the further research in this area. Thank you, one and all. Next, Jyoti Lakshmi Garu, proceed, please.
Okay. I'm honored to say the person with positive impact and guidance, guiding force for the students, our Vice Principal, Sir, Dr. T. Rajaya Garu, HOD and BOS of Commerce. Please give a message on this occasion. I invite T. Rajaya, Sir, please speak few words.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
A very warm welcome to all of you. Respected Principal K. Professor Nageshwar, Professor K. Ramakrishna Garu, and Vice Principal Sir Nitin Garu. Today's keynote speaker Nageshwar Rao Sir, Professor, and today's chief guest K. Surendra Reddy Garu. And this program, this webinar convener Dr. Jyoti Lakshmi Madam, and organizing secretary Madam Kalpana Garu, and other department faculty members, and our college colleagues and research scholars. Good afternoon to all. Today's webinar topic is very important and current topic: ecosystem restoration. What is the need of restoration of ecosystem? Because in the form of development activities, we means human beings are damaging and degrading the ecosystem. So we need to restore the ecosystem to live happily in the not only human beings, animals, etc. We have to take activities like reforestation, grassland and waterland restoration, river restoration, etc. So what are the approaches we have to restore the ecosystem? Generally, like they are environmental approaches, social approaches, technological approaches, economical approaches. By unfortunately, all the approaches are interlinked. So, require a holistic and integrated approach to achieve the ecosystem like sustainable future. Thank you one and all for giving this opportunity. Congratulations once again to Department of Zoology conducting this type of webinars. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It gives me immense pleasure, and he is the mark of dedication and exceptional person for time being and a motivator. That is Sri P. Nitin sir, HOD and BOS of Department of Physics. I request to give his valuable speech on this occasion, sir. Please welcome, sir. Yes, sir, please welcome to this webinar. Okay. So now it's time to introduce our distinguished chief guest, Dr. K. Surendra Reddy Garu, General Secretary of TGCGTA, whose remarkable achievements and impactful contributions, their presence truly elevates this occasion. So please give your valuable speech, sir. Welcome, sir. Welcome to this webinar, sir. Surendra Reddy, sir. Please unmute yourself, sir. Surendra Reddy, sir.
Hello.
Sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon to all. The president of this program and our college principal, Professor Kalvakunta Ramakrishna Garu, and our keynote speaker, Nageshwara Garu, and convener of the program, Dr. A. Jyotilakshmi Garu, co-conveners Kalpana Madam Garu, and Ravindra Rao Garu, organizing secretary Kiranmai Garu, and all the staff members of the college, vice principals Nitin Garu, Rajay Garu, and all the other participants on the good afternoon. I am very happy to address this themed gathering at the national webinar organized by our department, the Department of Zoology and Fisheries of SRR Government College. The chosen topic is timely essential in this context. The COVID-19 pandemic has been a profound global challenge and reminding humanity of the intricate interdependence between the human health and ecosystems and the climate. It has illuminated the urgency to reimagine our relationship with the nature and to prioritize the restoration of the ecosystem for a more resilient and sustainable future. It is a great privilege to have renewed academician, Professor Nageshwara Garu, as the keynote speaker for this event. His expertise and insights will undoubtedly provide a deep understanding of ecosystem restoration and the lessons learned during the pandemic. I am confident his address will inspire meaningful conversations and actionable strategies among the participants. I commend the Department of Zoology and Fisheries for creating this platform to discuss such a crucial subject. Webinars like this are instrumental in bringing together brilliant minds to share their ideas, innovations, and develop sustainable approaches to address the global challenges. I extend my best wishes to all the participants, organizers, and speakers for the success of this seminar. May this event inspire us all to work humanity's coexistence with nature and contribute to the global vision of the sustainable future. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. Now I welcome our controller of examination, HOD and BOS of Botany Department, Tirukovalai sir, Tirukovalai Srinivas sir. I welcome sir. Please give your valuable message to our students, sir.
Good afternoon to all. Madam, I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Respected Principal of SRR Government Arts and Science College, Autonomous Karimnagar, Sri Ramakrishna Garu, and esteemed resource person AMANCHI Nageshwar Garu, and the convener and organizer secretary from Zoology Department, my friends, and team members, vice principals, and all participants, and distinguished guests. I am truly honored to be a part of today's national webinar on ecosystem restoration. This is an incredibly timely and significant topic, especially as we are witnessing rapid environmental changes that require urgent attention. The effort to restore and protect our ecosystem is vital for sustaining life on Earth. And I am grateful to be joining experts and enthusiasts in this important discussion. I heartfelt thank you to the principal of our college, Professor Ramakrishna sir, for his visionary leadership, and to the organizing committee for facilitating this platform for knowledge sharing. I look forward to learning from the various sessions contributing to the conservation as well work toward creating a healthier, more sustainable environment. Lastly, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the participants, research scholars, and students who have joined us for this knowledge enriching session. I am confident that this webinar will be provide a platform for meaningful discussions. I really congratulate all the Department of Zoology faculty members for conducting like this is a very nice and timely required webinar. Wishing you all fruitful and engaging session. Thank you very much. Thank you one and all. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Once again, happy birthday from on the side of our webinar.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Now I request our IQAC coordinator, Dr. Harjot Kaur, Associate Professor of Commerce and also Business Management. I welcome you, madam. Please give your valuable message to our students. Harjot Kaur, madam.
Yeah. Thank you, Kalpana ma'am. Respected principal of our college, Professor K. Ramakrishna sir, distinguished resource person Nageshwar Rao sir, and other faculty members, organizing secretary and conveners of Department of Zoology and Fisheries, and dear participants and students, research scholars, a very good afternoon to one and all. It's really apt, or the need of the hour is, yes, restoration of ecosystem now, especially after COVID period. So as Kalpana madam has initiated with what exactly is ecosystem restoration, yes, it is really the recovery of ecosystems that have been degraded or destroyed. So not only that, we have to conserve the ecosystems also. For this, almost all the countries, even United Nations has come with many initiatives. Among them is 7 initiatives by UN, spanning all the continents like Africa, Latin America, and the Mediterranean and other Southeastern Asia, and so every part of the world is trying to have ecosystem restoration. So there's initiatives, to revive ecosystems which are on the brink of degradation. Okay, so that no environmental conservation and socio-economic development and health would be possible. So for that they are doing lot of work, like millions of land are brought into cultivation, and more than 50,000 or 5 lakhs of employment opportunities are given. So as such there are many success stories which have evolved because of this ecosystem restoration. Maybe it is restoring forest in Thailand, or restoring peatlands in Europe, or restoring urban greenery in Tanzania, or restoring forest in Tanzania. So not just urban greenery, but also forest in Tanzania, and restoring giant panda numbers in China. And when we look into the success story of this ecosystem restoration in India, best example is Marayur Sandal division of Kerala, where previously dominant stream was brought back to life through a dedicated forest department initiative. What they did is they reversed the impact of invasive species like black wattle and lantana that was disrupted the natural ecosystem. So such projects, they are showing the positive effects of community driven restoration efforts. So today I was just going on a column in Lifestyle in Deccan Chronicle today. I was really surprised that it is the time that we even have to restore our kitchen also. Because see, whatever the plastic we use, maybe look like scissors, heads, and spatulas, or water bottles, or single-use plastics and all. So they are creating lot of problems like cardiovascular diseases, neurodegenerative disorders, then respiratory issues, metabolic disorders, then hormonal health and infertility and all. So it's the time now that we have to go for ecosystem, following healthy organic alternatives even in the kitchen, by which we can restore our ecosystem in the kitchen, that is shifting from plastic to some wooden or mud utensils, or steel utensils and all as such. So these things are to be kept in mind. So I take this opportunity to thank the Department of Zoology and Fisheries and all the organizations, people involved in this, organizing this national webinar on behalf of IQSU. A special thanks to all of these. So having such a wonderful apt and the need of the hour webinar. So I really appreciate the efforts behind organizing such a wonderful national webinar. Me being a part of this as an IQSC coordinator, really give a bow and a kudos to this department. Thank you very much. Over to you, Kalpana. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Okay, now it's time. It is a great honor to welcome our head of Department of Zoology and the cornerstone of this program, Dr. A. Jyoti Lakshmi madam, whose exceptional leadership and unwaverable commitment to excellence have consistently elevated the stance of our department. So, madam, please give your valuable message to our students.
आप जीतते हैं आप फोटो ठीक है आप ये
A very good afternoon to everyone. On behalf of the Department of Zoology, Fisheries of SRR Government Arts and Science College, Autonomous Karimnagar, I warmly welcome all the participants and the dignitaries to this wonderful webinar organized by our department. So the Department of Zoology is striving for the welfare of the students, motivating and supporting them, making them to participate in all activities that we are conducting. We have conducted many activities like, for example, Flavor Feasta to inculcate healthy food habits and the nutritional values of various food items to the students. We are also conducting certificate courses like certificate course in vermicompost technology, and certificate course like beautician course. And this beautician course is meant for the women from the society like housewives and other women, which is making them to sustain on themselves, getting income regularly. Regarding this webinar, we are very fortunate to have Dr. AMANCHI sir as keynote speaker to enlighten the facts about the environmental challenges like climate change and biodiversity loss. The concept of ecological sustainability, which becomes more crucial than ever. Today's webinar will be a platform to discuss key strategies that can contribute to a more sustainable future. Please feel free, actively engage in discussions and views and share your insights throughout the webinar. Thank you all for participating and enlightened. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam, for your valuable words. Now, a true inspiration to all of us, very committed person towards the students' well-being and mentorship. So, I would like to invite Kiranmai madam, our organizing secretary of this program. I request you, madam, to please invite our introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. AMANCHI Nageshwar Rao sir, Assistant Professor of Zoology from OSMANINA University. Please, madam, introduce her.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Kalpana ma'am. This is Dr. K. Kiranmai, Assistant Professor, Zoology, Department of Fisheries, SRR Autonomous. On behalf of Department of Zoology Fisheries, I would like to cordially welcome you to one-day national webinar, that is Ecosystem Restoration COVID-19, Lessons for People, Nature and Climate, Key Approaches for a Sustainable Future. I think this is a suitable one quote which I heard, live, let live. It is not suitable to the animal, for the environment also, for the ecosystem also. Let me begin by expressing my deepest gratitude to the head of the institution for immense support in organizing this webinar. Today's keynote speaker is Dr. AMANCHI Nageshwar Rao garu. We are truly honored to have you joining us with this webinar. It's our privilege to quote on your presence, sir. Today webinar sends a very strong message to all the participants. Now let me introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. AMANCHI Nageshwar Rao garu, who has been working in the Osmania University as an assistant professor, Hyderabad, Telangana state. He has masters in zoology and obtained his PhD in zoology from Osmania University in the year of 2007. He completed 2 research projects founded by the UGC and DBT successfully and published 21 research papers, national and international reputed journals. And also he completed his 10 books and 3 books chapters. He has collaborated with researchers in other disciplines of the life sciences, particularly environmental sciences, biotechnology, for bioremediation of heavy metals, pollutants, and applied toxicology. He is the instructor for the both undergraduate and the postgraduate programs for the past 17 years, besides research experiences. He has associated actively in organizing the several of national and international conferences, seminars, workshops for upcoming researchers and students in the university. In recognition of his research achievements, Dr. AMANCHI has received several prestigious awards, including the Fellow of the Indian Association Aquatic Biologist in 2010. The Young Scientist of the Year Award from the International Foundation for the Environmental and the Ecology in the 2018. And Osmania University Vice Chancellor Award in the 2022. His academic leadership in evident his role as a coordinator of the Biodiversity Club, where he has organized a series of the impactful events such as the 2017 National Conferences on Biodiversity and Human Health and the 2020 international e-conferences on COVID-19's impact on environmental and the human health. Dr. AMANCHI is dedicated to the student development, having the mentored numerous postgraduate and the PhD students. Under his supervision, 2 scholars completed their doctorates in 2020, and 4 others are currently pursuing their PhD. He's actively involved in guiding master's dissertations with over 22 students having submitted their projects in recent years. Through his commitment to teaching, research, and co-curricular activities like career counseling and the R&B visits, he fosters the holistic learning environment for his students. Beyond the research and the mentorship, Dr. AMANCHI has co-edited and contributed to several books such as Environmental Biotechnology and Application and Biomedical Aspects of Solid Cancers, published by reputed academics publishers. His contributions extend into administrative roles as a member of the NAC, AQR, and anti-ragging committees at the university level, underscoring his dedication to the institutional service and academic excellences. So thank you for giving opportunity to speak words about the Dr. AMANCHI, sir. Thank you, sir. Over to Kalpana, ma'am.
Thank you, madam, for introducing our keynote speaker, sir. I express my gratitude for being here, sir, and please share your valuable insights with our participants, sir. I welcome you to this webinar, sir. Please go on, sir. AMANCHI Nageshwar, sir. Sir. Sir, Nageshwar, sir.
Yes,
Please go on, sir.
Is it visible, madam?
Audible. Sir. You are visible, but
Please click on slides.
Yeah, is it audible?
Slide.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon, all. It's a very lengthy introduction to the seminar. Though I can understand that it is a formality protocol, we have to invite everyone in the university, in the department, in the college, involve everyone. I could see many of the teachers of zoology from different parts of the Telangana state, and other than the Telangana state also, I could see my juniors, seniors, all of them in this webinar. I'm very happy to be part of this webinar. I'll not take much time in introduction and all those things. Thanks to the SRR College, Autonomous College, Karimnagar, and principal, and especially with the zoology department, IQAC, and all the staff members of the college. And I'll start without taking much time my presentation. This presentation is made for, in general, whenever I go any place, if opportunity comes, I'll talk about the ecosystem restoration because of not only my personal interest, but also United Nations have come with a program, 1 decadal program, that is ecosystem restoration. They have done a lot of exercise as a United Nations center, involving all the teachers, all the stakeholders, all the nations, and they have come with some kind of these things, and then it is in a global agenda now. As one of the teachers said in the group, so it is in a global agenda, responsibility of all the signatory nations of the United Nations. Okay, that is why personally, I also felt happy and responsible and taken this topic as a topic to discuss with all the stakeholders, all the faculty members, students, and other stakeholders. For the last, I say 4 or 5 years, 2019 onwards, we are discussing this, and it is the global agenda for one decade, that is 2021 to 2030. So you'll see what it is and why it is important. And I have added little COVID-19 data and climate change data to my presentation because people must understand why it is important, why it is significant. And this is a pictorial representation of the academic activity happening around the world. So a hierarchical structure of research themes linking climate change and COVID-19. There are 111 themes, and it is not my personal data. It is collected from the good quality journals, and people are working in 111 sub-themes globally to see why climate change is important or why COVID-19 has come into picture and then people have suffered, and why restoration of ecosystem is important. And then there are many publications, 22 sub-themes, 8 major themes, including food systems, environments, policy making, society, health systems, economy, energy, and global cooperation. Now we have seen what is happening in US, and the US president, he said in elections, and also he dropped from the Paris Agreement. Now there are so much of data, so much of discussions will come in the days to come. And this is the globally what happening in climate change and after COVID-19 in academics. And this is another kind of thing where we can see how it is important, how climate change important. See, if you see in the left side, then subcontinent wise what is happening. See, in American subcontinent, because of the climate change effect, annually, how many people are dying? That is 391,469 people. This is the report of the scientific publications. Okay, in American subcontinent, death per year because of climate change is 391,469. During COVID-19, it is 1,17,000. 11,78,645. This is the case with all continents. When you see African subcontinent, climate change effect is very less because of the climate change. Deaths reported, that is 12,14,000. Because of the COVID-19, that is 1,10,000. Okay, when you see Europe, it is Europe, climate change deaths are that is 8,35,000, and COVID-19 deaths are 7,67,000. Climate change death in Asia region, that is 26 lakhs. You just see in Europe, Asiatic region, that is 26 lakhs climate change death reported every year. And in COVID-19, that is 6 lakhs. And then in Oceania region, that is climate change deaths, that is 24,450, and COVID-19 deaths are 3,172. Why I'm telling this picture, or why I'm telling this data is, even COVID-19 caused a lot of havoc among the communities, human population, but climate change is causing more than the COVID-19 effect. So this is the death report by the two renowned publications from 2021 and 2022. So this is the seriousness. We have to understand how it is happening worldwide. This is another satellite map seen before and after COVID-19 with the parameters like temperature, wind speed, and how much is there in different regions of India. And now from global to Indian scenario. So Indian scenario, you can see wind speed and differences in wind and also temperatures during COVID-19 and before COVID-19 and after COVID-19. So you can see in the right side picture, how a temperature changes are occurring because of the climate change. And in the second picture, you can see wind speed, how it is happening because of the ecosystem loss and all those things. And it is one of the interesting picture I want to tell. January 1st to 2020 in China, where in Wuhan state, where people have said that COVID-19 started, and then February 10 to 25, 2020, see the concentration of nitrogen dioxide across eastern China from January to February. So when the lockdown was announced, when people are at rest, people are there at their home or work from the home, all those kinds of things, nitrogen dioxide percentage emission was captured. So this much of difference we can see in the same place in just one couple of months. This is the intensity, how much nitrogen dioxide we are emitting. And then how it is not just only related to climate change. It is not just related to death. It is not just related to health and hygiene and all those things. Tourism is one of the majorly affected. And because of the tourism, nations get a lot of economy money. So from 2000 to 2020, if you see a global population transfer, number of people, number of tourists in different nations. From 2000 to 2020, that is number of tourists in millions. That is in 2000, that is 674 million people have traveled from one place to another place for the tourist activity. And from 2020 to 2020, it is 1500 million people. 2019, it is actually 1500 million people. And then it has come down to -20 to -40 in different places because of the COVID-19. So when the conditions are favorable, when the ecosystem is good, people travel from one place to another place. We generally, as an individual, not recognize, not known all those things. But when you see the global data, -20 to -30%, 30% of people have stopped their travel because of COVID-19. So that has a lot impact on the economy of these so many nations. And this is emerging and re-emerging of the infectious diseases. So if you see this, it is global thing, what is happening. So in red color, wherever red balls are there, so that is represents the newly emerging diseases. So the emerging diseases which have emerged very newly, that is highlighted in the red ball, red circle, and blue is re-emerging and resurging diseases. The diseases which are already there or which are there very low number are re-emerging because of the climate change, and black ones are deliberately emerged. So because of the human intervention, they are deliberately emerged. So if you see the global picture, every nation from America to Australia, when you see different nations, the infections are emerging, diseases are emerging and re-emerging. You see the names, there are so many bacteria, so many virus, there are so many kind of pathogens, so many kinds of parasitic diseases which are occurring, reoccurring, emerging and re-emerging because of the climate change. And this is the relation between the evolution of space, evolution of Earth, evolution of ecosystem, and evolution of the pandemics. And then the process of pathogen spillover and emerging infectious diseases outbreak, how they usually come from one place to another place, or one ecosystem to another ecosystem. So from ecosystem to wildlife, from wildlife to pathogen. If you see the right left side picture, that is ecosystem. Yeah, somebody's speaking. I request mute all of you so that. Hello. Sir Rakshit, sir, that is something Rakshit, the Rakshit name.
Please, participants, mute yourself, please.
So from ecosystem to wildlife, from wildlife to pathogens. If you see the left side picture, from ecosystem to wildlife to pathogens. From there, the pathogens spill over to the populations. That may be human population, that may be wildlife population, that may be the domestic or pet animal.
Sir Nageshwar sir, please unmute yourself.
Okay.
So so population-based transmission, for human to human transmission. So the outbreak comes from one place to another place, and that it happens in many ways. One is microbial evolution from vector host, a vector cycle, or population exposure. So in course of some time, these pathogens will enter into the human population, and then they'll make a havoc kind of COVID-19. And then this is also same environmental outcomes of climate change, potentially climate change regulated mechanisms, effects that can promote emerging infectious disease outbreaks, and measures that can be taken to prevent limit these emerging infectious diseases. This is also multidisciplinary approach is required to stop or contain these kinds of changes. That is well advanced techniques, point of care tests, genomic surveillance, epidemic analysis, tracking and simulation models, mobile applications, biosensors. These are all advanced kinds of things where we can stop or we can identify, prevent, or kind of these kinds of diseases. This is also global change, but we'll come to this later. And in this whole context, disease context and environmental changes context, I want to say something about the ecosystem restoration. This is nothing but restoring the ecosystems which are altered, changed, or completely disappeared from their natural habitats. That is called ecosystem restoration. And we are not starting any new ecosystem as such. We are restoring the whatever ecosystem is happening or damaged, altered. To do that, the terrestrial and fresh, to do that, there are conditions for that. United Nations, last point, United Nations decade focuses on 8 broad categories of ecosystem based upon the International Union for Conservation of Nature Global Ecosystem Typology. So they have identified all ecosystems into 8 different categories. What they are, how they are, we'll see. One is farmlands. There are 8 ecosystems. One is farmland ecosystem. This farmland ecosystem occupies 4.8 billion hectares. Croplands and pastures cover 12% and 26% of the world ice-free land. That is 20%. That is 20% of croplands show stressed or declined their productivity. So 4.8 billion hectares put together croplands and pastures, separately 12 and 26. And then among these farmlands, means agriculture farms, what we understand in general. So these farmlands, 20% of the total farmlands are under stress. Stress means they declined, or the productivity of these farmlands have declined very significantly for the last couple of decades. Okay. And second ecosystem, as per the United Nations, that is a tropical, subtropical, temperate, and boreal and polar forests. So these second ecosystem, that is forest, occupies 4.06 billion hectares, 31% of the global land area. Means these forests are 31% of the global land area comes under this, and 420 million hectares of forest have been converted to other land uses since 1990. So 2025 we are, and since 1990, 420 million hectares, 1 million is 10 lakhs. So 420 million hectares of forests have been, one of the teachers, I believe, Department of Chemistry or somebody. So they have said, so we have been converting agricultural lands. We have been converting forest lands as agricultural lands. That is happening till today. And that is from, if you calculate that from 1990 to 2025, that is 420 million hectares. 420 million hectares of forest have been converted to other forms of land. When you take freshwater as an ecosystem, rivers, lakes, and wetlands, that covers 0.0 less than 0.01% of Earth's surface, and 35% of average decline in the area of natural inland wetlands since 1970, with the 87 total loss since 1700. And this is, I was telling in the beginning, this is not my personal data. It is United Nations data. They have collected hundreds of publications, data from different nations, their official bodies like departments, and then collected and then made it like this. So from when you see 1700 onwards, now 2025, 1700 onwards, 87% of freshwaters have lost their nature. Okay. When you see from 1970 onwards, that is 35% of freshwater bodies have lost their ecosystem capacity. Like so many rivers have dried up now, polluted, and all those kinds of things. So this much of stress is there on freshwater ecosystems. And when you take grasslands, shrublands, and savannas as an ecosystem, grassland and savannas cover 26 to 40% of the Earth's land surface, and 19% of grasslands and 27% of rangelands show stressed or declined their productivity. And this is a global kind of presentation data. And then savannas, shrubs, maybe you are not having, as in India, we are not having much, but in Europe, if you take, then this comes into picture. And mountains, if you take mountains and an ecosystem, so found all over the world's continents, and 27% of the global land area is covered with mountains. 27% of the global land area. When you take mountain as an ecosystem, that is that percentage. And what is the stress on mountains? 5 days per decade. Average decline in duration of the mountain snow cover, especially at a lower elevation level. Lower elevation level means that Sikkim, kind of Bihar, and then some part of the Arunachal Pradesh, all those things. If you see Himalaya as a mountain, so lower level of mountains, average decline in the snow cover for last 3 decades or 4 decades, that is 5 days. So an average snowfall is coming every year 5 days less. That is the stress mountains are having now. And 6 oceans and coasts. Oceans occupy 36% billion hectares, and 66% of ocean ecosystems are damaged, degraded, or modified. And major threat is happening to the ocean ecosystem or marine ecosystem. 66% of ocean ecosystems are damaged, degraded, or modified. And 1/3 of the commercial marine fish populations are fished unsustainably. Global population is getting food from the marine resources in large quantity than the other agriculture or other practices. So that is why 1/3 of the commercial marine fish populations are fished unsustainably. We are taking lot of marine fish as a food, and it is unsustainable. And peatlands is another ecosystem. 400 million hectares across 169 countries occupy peatlands. Degradation has affected nearly 65 million hectares of peatlands, especially in Europe, Central and Southeast Asia, East Africa, and other nations. And urban areas, we don't consider urban things as an ecosystem. So when you take Hyderabad as an ecosystem, when you take Karimnagar town as an ecosystem, so these are all considered as urban ecosystems. So when you take urban ecosystem, that is cities, towns, villages, urban villages, habitats, that is 2% of the global land is covered with the urban kind of ecosystems. More than 50% of urban ecosystems since 2000, means last 25 years, the number of city inhabitants without access to safely managed drinking water. So safely managed drinking water is a big problem in so many towns and cities. So that is also considered one of the crises in urban ecosystems. So it has increased more than 50%. Now 50% of cities are not having safely managed drinking water. That is also one of the crises, and which has effect on the governments especially. So these are 8 ecosystems, and how serious this pressure is there on ecosystems. I'll skip this. Yeah. major river basins originating Hindu Kush Himalayas. So from above the Himalayas and all those things, there are major river basins. So population depend on these rivers. Amu Darya, 30 million population is depending. Indus, 268 million. Tarain, Ganges, Brahmaputra, Irrawaddy, Salween, Yellow River, Mekong. So if you see this light green, olive green color, okay, so olive green color and India and Tibet and all those things. So 8 major river basins which give water to the millions of population. So they're all under stress now. And in Australia, the Great Barrier Reef, as a zoology teacher, we study this, or we tell to the students, it is there in our syllabus previously. So Great Barrier Reef has loss of its coral since 1995 due to bleaching events. This poses a threat to 64,000 jobs and Australian dollars 6.4 billion the reef brings to the Australia every year, and mostly from the tourism, but also from the fishing, recreational and scientific activities. So 64,000 jobs have lost, and then 6.4 billion Australian dollars every year that is getting from this tourism and other recreational activities, that is also at the loss. And that is the stress what we have seen so far. And then why restoration is necessary, how benefit we'll get, how much benefit we'll get, that we'll see. This is also categorized into different categories, 6 or 8. And then one is if you restore, what happens? That is health and welfare. The restoration of ecosystem can provide benefits and services which are essential to physical and mental health, such as clean air, climate regulation, and disease prevention. Examples, if you invest US dollars for one resident is in growing trees, could improve the health of millions of people by filtering and cooling the air. So $4 to plant a tree, it is calculated US dollars. So if you spend 4 rupees to grow a tree, that gives, this is not my internal, my personal data. It is the, and again, United Nations data. That is one of the area where we can do some kind of plantation and all those things. That is why so many people will come, so many governments will come, so many kinds of names. But end of the day, this is a global understanding. We are the signatory nation. That is why Artha Haram has come into picture. Two different states will come with different kinds of names. Different countries will come different kinds of initiatives. But end of the day, why they have come is we are the signatory nation of the United Nations. We have to fulfill our responsibility, right? So in that, health and welfare is one, and food security, restoration of farmlands and producing services of natural ecosystem can help the world to achieve sustainable developmental goal of zero hunger by 2030. And we have seen SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, 13, 14, 15 related to zoology, but around 17 are entire human community. If you want to zero hunger by 2030, food security is very important. So example, restoring mangroves. We have mangroves and ecosystem in seashore or in areas where coastal regions, wherever mangroves are there. Mangroves after sea, after marine waters, mangroves are the good source for the food supply. Okay, right. Examples, restoring mangroves could add 60 trillion young, edible and commercially valuable fish and invertebrates to coastal water ecosystems every year. That is not a simple number. Many population, many people depend on the mangroves as a source for their livelihood. So if you restore whatever lost we have done, if you restore, just restore that 60 trillion young, edible and commercially valuable fish and invertebrates will be added to the ecosystem every year. Biodiversity. Restoration can reserve biodiversity losses and increase provisions of ecosystem services. Restoring 15% of converted land in the right place could avoid 60% of expected species extinction. So just not 100% even restoration. So 15% of restoration in biodiversity. Okay, whatever we have lost. If you restore that, that accounts 60% of prevention of 60% expected species extinction. So we can prevent 60% extinction if you restore back the ecosystem, biodiversity. Economy, how economy is useful. So the longer that ecosystems are left to degrade, the more degraded they become, and the larger the cost to society due to decreasing ecosystem services and higher cost of the ecosystem restoration itself. So, for example, 10 trillion equal to 10 trillion in global GDP could be lost by 2050 if ecosystem services continue to decline as they decline now. What is happening to different ecosystems? If you allow them to happen like this, by 2050, 10 trillion dollars of global GDP will be lost. So this is a calculation, economic calculation by the economic experts, and then climate change experts. And climate adaptation. By example, restoration of oyster reefs in Mobile Bay and Alabama, USA, reduced average wave heights and energy at the shoreline by 53 to 91%, which co-benefits of increased seafood production, improved fish stock, and better opportunities for tourism and recreation. And next one is climate change mitigation. Okay, to avoid catastrophic climate change, the world must limit global warming to well below the 2 degrees centigrade. And then example, protecting intact ecosystem, whatever ecosystems we are having, and then halting. So halt to not to damage much more, and reversing degradation has the potential to contribute over 1/3 of the total climate change mitigation required by 2030. Just if you protect, you need not to do anything extra. So protect, halt what is happening to ecosystem. If you halt, stop the so-called developmental activities, okay, halt. And then if you reverse if possible, and then that contributes over 1/3 of the total climate change mitigation by 2030. And then water, if you see water, what we can do. So natural ecosystems offer critical services to people, including provisioning clean water, sanitization, irrigation, and all those things. Fresh water is essential for food security, energy protection, and health. A global example, globally, 81% of cities could reduce sediment. Or nutrient pollution in water used by their population by coupling forest protection and then restoration with improvements in agriculture practices. So we can, if you restore, what happens is 81% of cities could reduce their water kind of loss and water contamination. And then coming to eighth restoration. Restoring degraded ecosystem reduces pressure on resources, helping to prevent conflicts and migration in the long term. Example, African Green Wall, Great Green Wall aims to integrate promotion of peace, security in larger objective of restoring 100 million hectares of degraded land across the Sahel. So I will tell this what it is, and then you will realize it. So Great Green Wall Initiative covering there are 8,000 kilometers stretch, I believe, and then 11 nations. You will see in the next then that is useful 10 million hectares of degraded land to be restored. So these are the benefits if you restore what is happening to the global human community, right? And one of the very important example, so that is very small nation, but very important. Costa Rica has doubled its forest cover since 1980s pro restoration. It is a model state actually now, model nation to the entire human community. So while simultaneously tripling its national income, it has reversed deforestation by paying landowners for ecosystem and all those things. And Costa Rica is now a leader in the ecotourism. It's a tourism sector which accounts for 6% of GDP. 6% of GDP is coming from just ecotourism, forest tourism in Costa Rica, and they want to grow it. Is growing by 6% every year and provides 7% of all the jobs. The entire nation, 7% jobs come from the ecosystem tourism, and 6% GDP also coming from that. So we are not realizing, or people are not realizing, nations are not so realizing. That is why we are not using the ecosystems or the resources or forests or natural resources, how to use, how cleverly we can use all those things. But the Costa Rica is showing the way to entire human community. This is also again how much water stress is there on metropolitan cities. This is, as I was telling you, the 8,000 kilometers long Great Green Wall in Africa led initiative to combat land degradation, desertification, drought across 11 countries in West Africa, semi-arid region. Okay, so this is from Senegal to Djibouti. You see from left to right, Senegal, from Senegal to Djibouti, 8,000 kilometers stretch, connecting 11 nations. It is the integration of the people also, nations also. So from Senegal to Djibouti, 8,000 kilometers stretch, connecting 11 nations. That is called Great Green Wall of Africa. It is also again a commitment from the African nations to United Nations. Now it has started, and then you can see in the top right picture how greening is being planned and doing. And then in the right down also you can see. And just planting tree is not enough. You have to plant in a scientific way. I'll not go into much more details, but see how they are making. So soil erosion should not be happened. That plant should sustain, and that should restore the soil ecosystem, forest ecosystem, land ecosystem, terrestrial ecosystem. Everything should be done in a scientific manner. That is why there are different kinds of lines and rows. Okay, rows and kinds of things in the lower picture. So that is how degradation, that is how plantation has to be done. And India also has initiated this kind of Great Green Wall of India project from Rajasthan to Delhi. I'll see. Yeah, this is green belt around 1,400 kilometers long, 5 kilometers wide, spans from the Gujarat, Rajasthan to Delhi, Haryana border. And the Great Green Wall of India as a national priority project under its ambitious goal to revive 20 to 26 million hectares of degraded land by 2030. So this is our commitment, PROF.24 and United Nations commitments. That is also one of the initiative from Rajasthan, Delhi from Gujarat to Haryana, Delhi border. And there are so many objectives. I'll not go into those details, but there are key messages. One is countries need to deliver on their existing commitments to restore 1 billion hectares of degraded land, make similar commitments for marine and coastal ecosystems. That is one United Nations message. And the second one is we are going still in a wrong way because we are not focused. People are not focused. Not we means not Indians. Every nation is doing that, and US is the first now. And key message, that is ecosystem restoration is needed at large scale in order to achieve the sustainable development agenda. Ecosystem restoration delivers multiple benefits. Half of the world GDP is dependent on nature. Every dollar invested in restoration creates $30. Okay, and restoring population of marine species to deliver maximum sustainable yield would increase fisheries production 16.5 million tons an annual, that is $32 billion. If you restore the populations of marine fishes, that accounts $32 billion of US dollars to the economy every year. There are so many of these things. And this achieving a successful ecosystem restoration at large scale require deep changes. One is inclusive wealth as a more accurate measure of economics process. Per capita income we see, but that is not now criteria to the United Nations. That is inclusive wealth and creating an enabling environment for private sector to invest, including through public-private partnerships, increasing amount of finance for restoration, including through elimination of perverse subsidies that incentivize further degradation. So fuel climate change, through initiative to raise awareness of the risks posed by the ecosystem degradation. Similar kind of messages are. And each one has every role, each one has the role, and this will be there in the last slide. I will tell how everyone has the role. Okay. Yes, there are some approaches, wide variety of approaches are there in contribution to contribute and conserving and repairing the damaged ecosystems, involve active restoration and removal of the drivers. Yes, these approaches, what are approaches globally? ecological restoration, assisting the recovery of terrestrial, freshwater, and marine ecosystems that has been degraded, damaged, and destroyed. Any endpoint when it is going to become a successful approach. So there is no intended endpoint. The transition from the degraded ecosystem to a reference ecosystem, which may be a natural or cultural one. And forest and landscapes, if you take as to restore, approach to restore the forest and landscapes. So reversing the degraded soils, agriculture areas, forest, watersheds, thereby ranging their ecological functionality, regaining their ecological functionality. And intended endpoint is restoring multiple ecological, social, and economical functions across a landscape and generating a range of ecosystem goods and services that benefit multiple stakeholders. And restoring aquatic production as production ecosystems. If you take another approach, maintaining ecosystem structure function to support and provisioning while minimizing the impacts, that is one area where you can start some ecosystem restoration. And intended endpoint is large oceanic marine ecosystems supporting or affected by direct or indirect impact of fishing gears, fisheries production, recovery through changes in fishing methods, gear modification to rebuild fish stocks, reduce adverse impact on the environment. Another approach is regenerative agriculture. We have seen green revolution, what has happened in India, or we have seen excess production of the food grains in everywhere, in US, Europe, everywhere. So regenerative agriculture is now one of the approaches, that is farming that uses soil conservation as an entry point to regenerate and contribute to the multiple provisioning, regulating, supporting services. So regenerating soil ecosystem is one of the approaches in regenerative agriculture. And intended endpoint is enhancing environmental, social, and economical dimensions of the sustainable food production, soil carbon, soil health, on-farm biodiversity are restored. That is the end point of that approach. And rewilding. So we have seen so many wildfires very recently in US. Forest fires. So rewilding is one of the approaches. Rebuilding following the major human disturbances, a natural ecosystem by restoring natural process and the complete or near complete food web at all trophic levels as a self-sustaining and resilient ecosystem using biota that would be present had the disturbance not occurred. So we have to rebuild the wild environments, the forest environments. There is no defined endpoint to this approach, but functioning narrative ecosystem complete with fully occupied trophic levels that are nature lead across a range of landscapes. These are the approaches, five approaches where we can do some kind of natural ecosystem restorations. 115 governments have committed to restoring a total of 1 billion hectares of land and as a contribution to achieving objectives of the United Nations. So 115 signatory nations of United Nations have agreed to restore 1 billion hectares of land, 1 billion hectares of land. There are so many commitments to each and every nations. And there are certain principles of successful restoration. One is promote inclusive and participatory governance, social fairness, equity from the start and throughout the process and outcome. So from the beginning to end, from starting to ending, it should be transparent, socially fair, equitable, and then from starting to ending, it has to be done. That is one. Any government, any commitment, any restoration commitment should be done like this. And principle 2 includes a continuum of restoration activity. If you restore one ecosystem for 10 years and then leave it, it will not be restored completely. That is called stopping up in between is not useful for the restoration. So that is why includes a continuum of restoration initiative. If you start it, you have to continue it. You are not supposed to stop anywhere in between. That is also a second principle for restoration. And principle 3 aims to achieve highest level of recovery possible for ecosystem health and human well. So whatever maximum restoration can be done, it has to be done. If you do 20%, 30%, it does not support the purpose. That is why at maximum extent we have to restore. Principle 4 says address the drivers for the ecosystem degradation. So you have to know what are the reasons, factors for the ecosystem degradation. Once you know the drivers for the degradation, and then you will have a chance to how to mitigate that ecosystem degradation. And principle 5 incorporates all types of knowledge, promotes their exchange throughout the process. All kinds of knowledge means not only scientific knowledge, cultural knowledge, heritage knowledge, and then local indigenous people's knowledge. Okay, many a times we come with some kind of idea and then impose it or implement it, but it does not give any fruitful result because of participatory lacuna of the local communities. That is why incorporate all kinds of knowledge and then promote their exchange throughout the process. Principle 6, it is tailored to the local context while considering the larger landscape. That is why the plantation program was named as Harita Haram. It is in the local context, but it is global understanding, global commitment. So it has to be, any initiative should be tailored at a local context, and while considering the larger landscape or seascape and socio-ecological and cultural settings. That is why in Harita Haram, socio-cultural settings, one best example I'm not prizing any individual, but whenever you do planting, you do local native species. We do the planting plants which are useful to local communities, local people, or local habitat. Then only they will survive and then they will continue. So that is one of the socio-ecological and cultural settings meaning. So principle 7, it is based on well-defined short, long-term ecological and socio-economical objectives and goals. That principle 7 says that whatever initiative you have taken, that should be short-term and long-term target. And principle 8 is plans. It plans, undertakes, monitors, evaluates, adapts management throughout the lifetime of the project and program. Once you start that program, there will be a planning. What we see in general, whenever some new initiative comes, we say DPR, detailed project report. What does it mean? So once you take initiative in restoring ecosystems, it should have all these things. It should have a planning. It should have undertaking. We have to undertake it, and then monitor it, evaluate it, how it is progressing, and then adapt to management. So we have to manage if something, some limitations come in between. So we have to manage the entire program and then continue throughout the lifetime of the project or program. Principle 8 says that. And principle 9 integrates policies, measures to ensure longevity, maintain funding, and where appropriate, enhance and scale up interventions. So once you start a funding, once you start one initiative, if you fund for 5 years or 10 years, after that, if you drop with that kind of initiative, what happens is it will not give a fruitful result. So policies and measures to ensure longevity, it should go long way, and maintain funding. We have to fund continuously, regularly. Then only that comes to a logical end. So these are the major 9 principles to implement ecosystem restoration. And there are technology interventions, remote monitoring, so remote sense monitoring, and better knowledge sharing. For example, India has knowledge in one area, and US has knowledge in one area. Another, China has knowledge in one area. So people, communities, and nations have different knowledges, different experiences. We have to share those knowledges so that can be implemented wherever possible, wherever applicable. So better knowledge sharing is one of the important things. Improved on-ground practices. So at the root level, at grassroots level. So what is happening that we have to improve at on the ground practices, and how people are doing around the world. Okay, global initiatives, these are all global initiatives. So that one initiative is 4 per 1,000 initiative. That is called 4 per 1,000 initiative. That name itself is 4 per 1,000 initiative. It is a global initiative, a network to demonstrate the role of agricultural soils in climate mitigation and food security. Okay, so నలుగురు ఒక 100,000 మందికి చెప్పాలి, 1000 మందికి అవేర్నెస్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలి. So I'm also doing, you're also doing. So 4 per 1,000 initiative, a network to demonstrate the role of agricultural soils in climate mitigation. What is the role of agricultural soils in climate mitigation? That has to be given, that knowledge has to be, awareness has to be given to the people. So in climate mitigation and food security. And second initiative is Restore European Center for River Restoration. That is, it is also a global initiative, but one continent, Europe, the greater Europe, it is restricted. It is a network to promote and build capacity for ecological river restoration across Europe. Another one is Bond Challenge. You might have heard this in newspapers or and somewhere in ecology syllabus and all. The Bond Challenge. It is again global challenge related to forest and landscapes. The target is 350 million hectares of forest and landscapes restored by 2030. It is global understanding. So 350 million hectares of land, forest lands and landscapes restored by 2030. It is another initiative by the human community. A Global Mangrove Alliance. This is one of the alliance group of nations that is called Global Mangrove Alliance. Wherever mangroves are there, mangrove restoration or kind of thing, Global Mangrove Alliance. And 20% aims to increase global mangrove cover by 2030. By 2030, 20% of mangrove cover should be increased. Whatever is lost, whatever is there, that is increased by 2030. By 2030, 20% should be increased. And Global Peatland Initiative, that it focuses on the conservation, restoration, and sustainable management of the peatlands. It is also again global initiative. And Great Green Wall Initiative, I was telling in Africa, Great Green Wall Initiative, that is 100 million hectares to restore 100 million hectares of currently degraded land by 2030. International Coral Reef Initiative. So there are so many initiatives. International Coral Reef Initiative. We have discussed what is happening to Great Barrier Reef in Australia. So it is an informal partnership between the nations and organizations that strive and preserve coral reefs and related ecosystem around the world. And regreening in Africa. It is 8 countries in sub-Saharan nation regreening initiative, that is restoring ecosystem in 8 countries and improvising the resilience of 5 lakhs households. It is also global initiative, but restricted to African region. And then coming to, these are the, initially I have discussed what kind of pressure is there on different ecosystems. And then what are the initiatives globally? And then what are the approaches or where we can intervene and then do some kind of contribution. Then contribution at individual level, how to join generation restoration. You can join in groups, in institutions. You can make some kind of NGO, participate in it. And there are global networks. If you just Google it, global ecosystem restoration, there are global initiative websites are there. You can join in them. So individually, as a group, as a team, as a nation, as a state, as a scientific body, you can participate. Okay. So Go Green India, Live Light, Eat Right, Fund Restoration. These are all not catchy words. These are all some kinds of groups where people have come together and then doing so much of contribution in ecosystem restoration. So you can see these days students are using so much of internet, all devices. They can join in any WhatsApp group. They can join in any ecosystem restoration group. They can do so much of activities at school level, college level, university level, institution level. People can do at the office level, corporate office or private office or any other government sector. They can do a lot of initiatives. These are all different kinds of initiatives. You can raise your voice. And even I'll tell one good example. Last Britain election was conducted single agenda, that is Brexit. Whether the British government, Britain should be there in the European Union, okay, in the European Union as a contributory nation, or they can come out of the United European Union. So with this single agenda, they have fought in the election, and then the agenda is simple. They want to be in part of the European Union or not. So why they want to be part of European Union, why they don't want to be part of European Union is if when they are connected, they also has to have some responsibility to contribute, and they are also have to have some kinds of responsibility to deliver at a global level. That is why Brexit, that is Britain elections to exit from the European Union, that is there. And in so many European nations, climate change, green economy, green politics is also one of the agendas nowadays, right? And these are the innovations. These are some areas where you can contribute yourself. Thank you. If any questions are there, then let me know so that I'll try to answer.
Thank you, sir. Participants can raise your questions. Any doubts? And I will unmute to all. Please utilize this opportunity.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for enlightening all of us on environment and its sustainability. And my small doubt is, nowadays we have been listening about global warming as well as global cooling. How can we manage these two, sir, for our environmental sustainability?
See, there are two things. One is global warming. The weather conditions are because of the climate change or weather conditions, we experience very low temperatures. In hot summer, we experience very high temperature. So when the disturbance is there, when the ecosystem is damaged, we'll experience all these things. So there are no shortcuts, but thing is local specific. Actually, I skipped all those things because local specific remedies or local specific initiatives are required. So what is required to our nation is our importance, or our target. Target should be like that. So what is needed or what fits. For example, I will give a very good example. Whenever there is a plantation, we'll bring a different plant, which is non-native, and then plant it. Not only at individual level, at government levels. And we don't know where it is produced. Or that is also not an issue, but it is not native to us, non-native to us. See,
yes, sir. Recently, Conocarpus.
Yeah, recently Conocarpus. I don't want to name government or anything. Very recently, government of Telangana started a biological diversity park in Gachibowli area, and each plant cost 10 to 15 lakhs. Minimum is 1 lakh to more than 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, and it is opened by the government, the Honorable Chief Minister. And my point is, they are not non-local. They are not local at all. They can sustain. They can survive. They are useful. They look lucrative, but they will not contribute anything to our ecosystem. For aesthetic sense, that is useful. Like in Harita Haram also, people have done like that. So there are so many plants which are native to us, which native to us means it is not simply, I'm telling, over the period of 100 years or 200 years or 500 years, 1000 years, they adapted to these kinds of tropical environment, these kinds of soil ecosystem. They will sustain, become success and useful. We are not doing in that way. That is the problem in everywhere. So if you address problems at local level, logically, scientifically, that can be done.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you. We can't tell you, sir, how useful your talk on this topic. Your expertise was apparent to all, and our attendees were thrilled to have a chance to learn from you. So thank you so much, sir. Now I request T. Preeti, guest faculty of this department, to give the vote of thanks.
Nobody is asking this presentation. I don't know why. Usually people ask this, sir, will you share the presentation or will you give some kind of material?
Sir, please share, sir.
Yeah, since you are not asking, I am telling, I'll share this to your group, don't worry. And this
I
300,
thought to ask you later on, sir.
yeah, 300 pages, yeah, US United Nations voluminous material is there. That is 350 voluminous voluminous book is there. I have collected all the data and made it into simple 50 or 60 slides. So I'm presenting wherever I am presenting, wherever I get the chance, I'll share it. And that book also you can see in the website.
Your PPT is very nice, very wonderful, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I request Preeti to give vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. I extend my gratitude to our principal, sir, Professor K. Ramakrishna, sir, for giving us the permission to conduct this webinar. On behalf of our department, I would like to extend my gratitude to the Honorable Speaker, Dr. Nageshwar Rao, sir, for enlightening us even in your busy schedule and providing us with a deeper understanding. Thank you, sir, sharing the valuable knowledge on climate changes and the reports after pandemic, and also sharing us the various global examples of emerging and re-emerging infectious diseases, and also the restoration approaches. Thank you so much, sir. I also thank our Vice Principal, sir, Nitin, sir, and Rajaya, sir, the Chief Guest, Dr. Surendra Reddy, sir, TGCGTA, State General Secretary, IQAC, Harjot Kaur ma'am, and our HOD, Dr. Jyoti Lakshmi madam, and all the participants, a heartfelt thank you.
Thank you, Preeti. Thank you. Thank you. So we are wrapping the program. Thank you all the participants for your patience and listening, patiently listening our meeting. And thank you so much, sir. Once again, మీది విన్న తర్వాత మళ్ళా ఇంకొక మీటింగ్ మీ వాల్యుబుల్ రిసోర్సెస్ ని మేము యూజ్ చేసుకోవాలనుకుంటున్నాం సార్. డెఫినెట్లీ మీతో మళ్ళీ ఇంకో ప్రోగ్రామ్ చేస్తాం సార్, సెమినార్ అయినా వెబినార్ అయినా. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ వన్ అండ్ ఆల్. థ్యాంక్ యూ. పార్టిసిపెంట్ సర్టిఫికేట్స్ అందరికి రేపటికి ఫీడ్బ్యాక్ లింక్ పంపిస్తామండి గ్రూప్ లో. సో రిజిస్టర్ చేసుకోండి.
సో
ఓకే, ఇప్పుడే పంపిస్తామండి. సో ఫీడ్బ్యాక్ లింక్ ఫిల్ చేయండి, మీకు సర్టిఫికేట్స్ వచ్చేస్తాయి. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Nageshwar Rao sir, thank you very much. Really, it's a great honor to interact with you, sir, because of our life sciences, botany and zoology is the sister departments. So that's why we are collaborate and coordinate. So actually, it is very, very emerging and also the ever challenging topic to the present scenario. We are very much enlightened. At the same time, day to day, we can update ourselves, at the same time aware about the climate changes and resilience to the nature. So that's why it is very, very useful to all the faculty members and all the students, all the research scholars. So thank you very much. Now, all the participants I will share the feedback link. Please fill the feedback link before leaving the session. You may get e-certificate through your registered mail. And also, by the suggestion of our Honorable HOD Zoology, Dr. Jyoti Lakshmi Madam Garu, will send the, Madam will going to send our Nageshwar Rao sir the appreciation certificate. So we are unable to connect in physical mode. So that's why our Jyoti Lakshmi Madam will send the appreciation certificate through mail. At the same time, the hard copy is also sent to through post, sir. So thank you very much. Madam will interact with you, sir.
Sir, Amanchi sir, it is a great privilege to say thank you for this wonderful session, sir. So many participants are chatting in the group. that they are enlightened very much with your lecture. And in future also we are planning to have seminar with you, sir, in our college. And we will send the appreciation for you, sir, online. And I request all the participants that you will definitely get the certificates when you register yourself. Okay. Thank you all, one and all, sir. And I thank specially you, sir, AMANCHI, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much to the entire SRR College and Department of Zoology, all the participants, my friends also there in the group, especially with the Tirupati sir and everyone. Thank you very much.
Sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. So with these few words, we are connect with you, sir, forever. And also all the respected dignitaries. One more important sir has given to our respective degree colleges from CCE. Sir is held responsible for green audit. So all government institutions, all the institutions from higher education, by the signature of our honorable keynote speaker, we are already get the certificates from our Nageshwar Rao sir. So that's why we are very, very luckiest participants from this webinar. So thank you, sir.
This initiative we have done from our side, sir. Actually, college CCE is not having this idea. We approached CCE and requested make it a point so that you'll get marks in NAC. Not only that, you will get a lot of awareness and we'll get some kind of data every year. So if somebody is interested, really, they can compile the data for last 5 years and then make a good presentation of their college contribution. So that is that way also it is useful. So that is our personal actually with the team of Botany Environmental Science initiative.
Sir, from our side, our HOD madam and our faculty members are requesting you, please send the PPT.
Yeah, I'll share.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I'll share with you. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All the participants, please wait for 1 minute. I will send the feedback link. Okay, all of you, please fill the feedback link. We are just now sent in the chat box. So please fill the feedback link. Regarding filling up this feedback link, if you have any problem, please you may interact through this platform, even the chat box also. Oh, correct. Okay, respected participants, is there any problem during the filling the feedback link? Anybody can interact. Okay, thank you very much for your patience and cooperation and supporting for grand success of this one-day national webinar in the Department of Zoology. So, Sarupa Madam Garu, Professor Abdul Alim Khan sir, Parlapelli Raju sir, Narayana sir, Hemalata Madam, Dr. Neeli Vasavi Madam Garu, Madhu Rajesh sir, Dr. Kiranmai Daggula Madam Garu, Dr. P. Subhashini Madam Garu, Monica Madam Garu, Bhimaro sir, Anita Madam, Rani Madam Garu, Lakshmi Madam Garu, Dr. Dhanendra Garu.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Madam, good afternoon.
Sir, I'm unable to receive any feedback form, sir. I'm Santosh Rupa from Tribal Welfare Degree College, Karimnagar, sir.
Okay. We'll send the feedback link once again. Please, you may fill the feedback link.
Is it available in the group, sir?
No, I will send in the chat box because of the first priority to those who are joined in the webinar. So that's why you may get the first, then only the WhatsApp group.
I joined in the webinar itself, sir. I chatted in the chat box.
Okay. Again, I will send the chat box.
Okay, sir. Okay, fine. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Please fill the feedback link. I have already sent in the chat box. Please, once you check in the chat box. Sarupa Madam Garu. Vakulabaram Sarupa Madam Garu. Madam Unnaru. Tulasi Madam Garu. I hope all the participants fill the feedback link. Feedback link not accepted. Okay. I will resolve the problem. Wait for 1 minute. Okay. feedback link will send in the WhatsApp group. Those who are till now, those who are not filled the feedback link, don't worry. You fill the feedback link whenever you are free. I will send in the WhatsApp group. I hope you are all in the WhatsApp group, Zoology, SRR Zoology Webinars group. I will send. Okay, thank you. Okay, Bunga Tirupati sir. Subhashini Madam garu, Dr. P. Subhashini Madam garu. Madam ji, Subhashini Madam garu. Okay. Bangalore. Okay, with your permission, I will wind up the session. Thank you.